Hello everyone. Before I start today's chapter by a passage from Grandmother Anna, she talked about Joshua's relationship, his marriages, and his children. And I know many of us has difficulties in accepting multiple partners, and if you haven't read this book, the second part of Anna, the voice of the Magdalenas, I would like to ask you to keep an open mind in hearing what Grandmother Anna has to explain. Let's put aside our patriotic culture limitation of sexual practices and marriages between two or more people. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Anna. In my early story, there were many things that I could have said, but I choose not to reveal. You recall how profoundly Claire was affected in her emotional body when I begin to reveal these secrets. This news about Joshua's relationships will likely be difficult for others to hear as well. Although we didn't have the same cultural stigma you currently have about polygamy, we had good reason to be very judicious and secretive about the children and our comings and goings. We felt very protective of all the children, and especially Joshua's. There has been much misunderstanding that has arisen because of our effort to protect Joshua's children and the true nature of his relationships and teachings. More readers of my story are now ready to hear what has been secreted away, though it will still be a big stretch for most. What happened to that marriage? Anna. As I look into the future, it continued through the remainder of Joshua's life, but it was kept a secret, especially from the Romans in Palestine, Alexandria, and now here. They publicly shunned having more than one wife, though that does not stop many from having extramarital affairs. There are very few people who can understand the deeper purposes of these two marriages. Let me assure you, our revelation of it now is certainly not to proselytize polygamy. Far more much suffering has occurred within this ancient patriarchal tradition, which has oppressed women for thousands of years, and certainly speaking openly about Joshua's multiple partners is not about condoning licentious sexual activity or any sexual practice where love is absent, for that matter. Very few are able to look at the fact that we, as more liberal as sins, practice conscious sexuality, whether as celibate or as married couples. For those who have been conditioned with fictitious stories that Joshua was celibate and that sex is sinful. It is very difficult to envision Yeshua as a married man and conceiving children. Some people feel that because Yeshua is an arbiter, he is somewhat above being sexual, as sexuality seems to make him more human. But these people do not understand the exoteric practices of tantric alchemy, which include the conscious cultivation, retention, and channeling of life force energy through the body, with or without a partner, for the attainment of spiritual enlightenment. Some people at the other extreme might think because Joshua did it, not knowing what it is, they have a license to practice any manner of lust-based, genitally focused sexuality. Great karmic harm has come to many individuals and many generations because of this ignorance, either erring in the way of extreme austerities or blatantly indulging harmful self-gratification, promiscuity, and all manner of human bondage. I assure you once again, what Joshua and we Magdalenas practice does not in any way indulge lust. We transmute life force energy, or what you would term sexual passion, by respecting its creative and destructive power. We bring loving mindfulness and deep care for one another's well-being, not just in the moment of mutual pressure, but for our beloved's entire lifetime and for lifetimes to come. We utilize our sexual energy in disciplined ways to attain enlightenment of body and mind. We consciously conceive children in such a way as to lessen the obscurations that they might otherwise have at birth. We do this so that they might have more favorable conditions for awakening in this lifetime. We do this not only for ourselves, but we dedicate our joyful, healing sexual energy to the awakening and happiness of all beings. Let me say further, our preferred expression of matrimony is a mutual commitment to monogamous fidelity to each other and a mutual devotion to the beloved on high. Unless it is revealed to us that there is a greater purpose to be served through polygamous fidelity. Generally speaking, we find monogamy promote the greatest spiritual awakening, harmony, and well-being within couples, families, and communities. Among us, you will find few who practice polygamy, and of these, there are only advanced adepts. As we proceed with my story, more understanding may come. It is with some reluctance that I share these revelations with you. It is only because a deeper spiritual awareness is beginning to dawn at this time that I offer this controversial information for you to consider and weigh in your own heart. Claire, I have a question Now about the Joshua and Magdalena bloodline. Does it carry through to this time, and is it important because it carries the vibration of the light conception? Anna: yes, but it is also to be understood that the bloodline is not just Joshua's descendants. It includes other light-conceived children born to my other children who were conscious enough to participate in the initiations that prepared them for light conception. It is also to understand that there were other awakened families throughout the earth who have conceived and are conceiving children in the light. With regard to my children and grandchildren, I have descendants who cover the earth in your time. What we did through light conception was to set an expanded, more unifying cosmic pattern or matrix into the earth. This has been done by enlightened beings through the cycles of time. All beings are born of the element of the earth. These light frequencies impregnate the element and genetic of all forms. They hold coherent matrices and patterns of light that facilitate consciousness to be aware of oneness. Although we live in one of the darkest of Earth's cosmic cycles, nevertheless, it may be that this is the most auspicious opportunity for awakening these intrinsic, coherent patterns of code of light, oneness. I leave you now to contemplate my word deeply.